Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another This Might Hurt. Hope you're doing well. Happy Tuesday to you. I'm working on the lighting. Let's see if this works any better than yesterday. Hope your week is off to a good start. Mine is still a little echoey. I'm trying to shuffle the cards kind of quiet for you. Hopefully if I get some furniture and carpet in here soon, then we can have a little sound absorption. But until then, we're kind of dealing with what we're dealing with, right? So get the cards shuffled. Let's get the energies for today. Energies for today. We have got the Six of Pentacles. This one always just confuses me. And I think it's an balancing of your resources, right? So there's a balance. The scales here are scales of justice, right? And then she's got these pentacles. That's her resources. It's her time, her energy, her attention, all the things that you would invest. And who is she going to give them to, right? And she gives them out equally. And balancing energies, right? Just knowing that you're going to give, everyone gets what they need, right? Everyone gets what they need. Not necessarily what they want, but what they need. What's that Rolling Stone song? Don't always get what you want, but you always get what you need. And knowing that the universe does that for us too, right? We all get what we need. To the Nine of Wands, overthinking it and trying to rewrite the same story with a different ending. Maybe stuck in the past a little bit, and maybe need to set some better boundaries. Maybe it's time to look at the boundaries that you set or haven't set, and it's time to just reevaluate them, right? Just see what boundaries are there, what might need to change, what might need to be taken away, like all the things. Sorry, coffee. But yeah, he's looking very distraught, trying to, let me see if I can, very distraught, trying to write the story. But Nine of Wands to me always means boundaries. Yeah, I'm a little off today. I don't know. Maybe my energy needs to be pushed around a little bit. I don't know. But let's keep going. We've got feeling Nine of Wands to Ten of Wands. So the straw that broke the camel's back, carrying all these burdens, carrying all this weight. At some point, even a feather is going to fall on top of that pile of wood, and it's all going to come crashing down. And notice the red and the orange, like the lower energies, right? The root chakra and the sacral chakra. This is about your safety. This is about your basic human needs. This is about things that you need to survive, right? You're not going to survive without things like food and water for very long anyway. And at some point, you're going to have to pay attention to those needs. I like that we went from the 9 to the 10 because that tells me that the cycle is completing, right? Or at least, even if it gets to the point where you can't take anymore, at least it ended, right? It ended. It got to a point where something had to change, right? We had to write a different story. We had to set new boundaries. We had to do something different. Something different has to be done. Our resources have to be given to something new, or we have to reevaluate how they're being set or how they're being sent out into the universe. Guys, I had a client the other day tell me that she had to break up with, I'll tell I believe we got this yesterday, but we'll talk about that in a minute. I had a client that told me she had to break up with her girlfriend because her girlfriend relapsed. And she said, Sanora, I need to love myself more than I love her. And I couldn't have been more proud at that moment. I think that's what this is, right? You have to love yourself more than other people, right? I mean, we want to love each other as we love ourselves. There's no doubt there, but we can't love other people more than we love ourselves, because that would be pouring from an empty cup. Things happen fast, right? When we finally get our resources, that's twice we've had Queen of Pentacles with the resources and knowing exactly what to do and when and where and how, right? And that's not necessarily doing it yourself. That's knowing where the resources are to call on the help. Sometimes just knowing who to call is the resource in and of itself. And when you finally get that, it's going to happen really fast. Knights being, wands being creativity. We got all wands basically in pentacles. So this is all very earthy, creative, earth and fire, right? Scorched earth, if you will. And just kind of like clearing the pathway, right? If we scorch earth, then we get to start over. Think about a forest. We were out, I think it was last year, 2 years ago, where we saw parts of New Mexico that had been scorched by wildfires. And it had been a couple years since that fire, and you could actually see the new growth starting and the new creation starting over again. When you destroy something, something new gets created. And in order to create something completely new, you have to destroy the old. So I kind of see this as that scorched earth, right? Just burn it all to the ground and start over. I'm not saying burn your lives to the ground. I'm saying maybe the way that you're doing things. Maybe you need to completely overhaul those kind of things. And I was talking to my daughter this morning and just about certain things, and I was like, it's going to get worse before it gets better when you start talking about trying to make changes in the household, right? With little kids in the house, because little kids are just playing patterns, right? They're just playing patterns. We've got the Nine of Pentacles. You have everything you need, all the resources that you would ever need, and protect yourself. See how she's protecting herself from the talons on the. Is that an eagle? It's not an eagle. You guys are probably screaming at the screen right now. But this bird with its talons, falcon maybe, falcon. She has to protect herself from that, right? There has to be a boundary in between there. And it's going to happen maybe at a snail's pace. Maybe we see it as a snail's pace. But all the resources are there. She's planted all the resources, and they're all coming in. Everything she needs is at her fingertips, literally. But she has to turn around and see them, right? She can't just stay focused on the problem. We got to focus on the solutions. That's the advice. And what we don't see coming at the bottom of the deck, the Magician in the reverse. So the awareness that we are creating this, right? It's kind of like I heard someone talk about the law of attraction and so forth as if it were gravity. Gravity's going to work whether you believe in it or not. You know what I mean? Why not believe in it and try to direct it? And the Carl Jung says that too, right? In his famous line where he says, "Until we make the subconscious conscious, it will direct our life, and we will call it fate." Once you learn the algorithm of the universe, all of this stuff is within your hands. All of this stuff is at your disposal. All of this stuff is all these pentacles, right? All these resources, all this creativity is at the tip of your fingertips. It's right there for the taking, right? So be aware. You are the magic, right? You are the magic. Let's get This Might Help Oracle. That was kind of a little painful reading, but let's see what might help. What might help us in this situation? What's going to help in this situation? Help for the situation. The bird in flight. I'm not sure. I need to learn these. I think this means air. I could be wrong. But the bird in flight. So the bird being in flight obviously flies through the air, right? The wind beneath my wings type thing. And birds are messengers. So I feel like this is saying the message is coming, right? The messages are always coming. Just be open to receiving the messages. We have to be open to receiving them in order for them to fully come through. And make the subconscious conscious, right? So that it does not direct our life and we don't call it fate. But yeah, so a little bit of a painful reading today, but not too bad. Just know that you have the power to change whatever it is you want to change. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it there. You guys take care. We'll chat tomorrow.